Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and we are in a somewhat quiet week in Destiny 2. Potentially Solstice of Heroes is going to be starting next week, but right now we've got a little bit of downtime, and also we have more time till, of course, Beyond Light launches now on November 10th. Now, sometimes you may be wondering what you can do, and there are some things you may want to look into, either working on getting loot, potentially getting some mods and some armor that will be lasting for a while. Now, some of the mods, the armor that will be dropping this season, obviously, if you go check it, should be able to be infused up to power level 1360, which means it'll last till the end of year 4, which is totally fine. But there's also quite a few weapons that are going to be sunset. Now, anything that you've got back here, even this Dire Promise, for example, is not going to last as long. But any of the raid loot from a couple of the specific raids, Garden of Salvation, and of course, Last Wish, have been updated, and they will be lasting until, well, through season 15, so 1360 power limit. Now, different raids have different armor and gear and stuff like that, but the Tyrian of Heaven is some of the stuff that comes from Last Wish. Now, that's the Taken one where you fight Riven. It's actually a really cool raid. If you've never done it, try and find a group to do it. But some people may not be able to find a group every week, and they still want to try and get some specific loot from there. So some weapons are definitely worth going for. Like this one, for example, isn't too shabby. Again, you can see it goes up to 1360. If rocket launchers ever get a little love, this one as well is from there. And again, always nice to check, and you can do this on any gear you've got if you need to clean up your vault. Power level 1360 does mean it lasts through all of year 4, or at least we've been promised that. Now, the other thing, potentially if you're working on Prophecy, is getting the Taken mods. Now, the mods themselves I'm not wearing specifically, but a lot of what I did, actually, when I went for my solo Prophecy run, was use armor from Last Wish, of which this is, and it allows me to use the Taken mods. Now, the Taken mods specifically do a couple really cool things. One of them is Taken Armaments. Defeating a Taken enemy with a grenade grants heavy ammo, and you don't even have to go pick it up. It just gives you heavy ammo into your reserves, which is really, really helpful. The other one is Taken Barrier. Receiving Taken damage gives a 20% reduction in damage for 10 seconds. So I have no idea how often we're going to be fighting Taken enemies, but obviously we got a seasonal dungeon where it's loaded with them, and Taken still does seem to continually be a thing. If we get to the Witch Queen in 2021, Taken may be coming back. So unless they just like take these mods out or give us a new way to get them or use them, they're still going to be something viable to use. And the thing about it is these mods actually do become usable when you get some armor from Last Wish as well. Now, you may be saying, I have no way to go get Last Wish loot because I unfortunately do not have a raid group. Well, nice thing is you can go get a drop on each character. If you have 3, you can do it 3 times a week. If you have 1 character, you can only do it once. But again, you can go get a drop every week. Chance at a weapon, chance at a mod, chance at both or armor. And you also have a chance at these 4 Taken mods. Taken Invigoration is the other one I didn't notice. Defeating a challenging enemy refreshes your class ability. And Taken Repurposing, destroying a Taken shield refreshes your grenade ability. So these are 4 Taken mods that you can get from the Last Wish raid, and you can get a chance at these by going in solo. So what I'm going to do is show you how you do this completely by yourself. You don't need anybody else, and if you have 3 characters, you can do this 3 times a week. So it's a chance at quite a bit of drops, and also quite a few weapons and potentially armor that you'll be able to carry forward for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the director. And what nice thing about Last Wish is, due to the Last Wish and the idea of wishes and this wish wall thing, you can actually jump to specific spots in the raid. So I'm going to load into the raid, show you guys how to get to the wish wall, and explain from there. Alright, Guardians, so when you load in, Riven of some character is going to talk to you. I got Marasov. But this little door over here is going to open, so follow me along. I'm going to show you guys where the wish wall is at, and then I'm going to enter the wish, which takes a little while, so I'll skip ahead. And then I'll show you how you can go find this hidden chest.
I would quite like to meet you.
This is a little door that will hinge open. Takes a second. And once you enter, you've got a little bit of a jump to go through. So turn to your left, come up here. And from here, you're going to jump up here onto the crystals. There's a little bit above you, so be careful about that. If you really want to make sure you get the jump, you can jump up here and glide across. Now, there are a couple ways to get to this next section. Also, my advice is you've got to do a lot of shooting. So try and grab a couple auto rifles just because they're usually the easiest to do this with. Things like pulses may not be the best. A bow's going to be pretty slow. A couple auto rifles in both slots in case you run out of ammo for some reason. Probably going to be the best. Hand cannons, you don't have a ton of ammo. Auto rifles tend to work the best. So grab a couple and have each in a slot. So, as you guys saw, I jumped across here. What you can actually do is run up to about here and stop. Now, you're trying to get over to that ledge over there. Now, don't go farther than these rocks here. If you have any issues, you can land on this rock over here. Kind of a nice way to get up there. Jump over here to the little green grass. And then we're going to jump right up here. Crouch around. Head up this direction. And then we're going to go way over there. And once you get up here, you're at the wish wall. Now, basically what this allows you to do is there's certain effects you can do. You can put in the one that allows you to do specific activities, go to certain boss checkpoints, things of that nature. And the nice thing is, all these images are out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter the code. And basically as you go through, you're going to be shooting these. And as you shoot them, they have a little bit of a delay. That's why I tend to like to shoot about 3 at a time or more. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when I'm finished with the full code. And basically, as you go through, I'll give you a couple tips as you do this. The order that these things go in, you start with fish for 4 different pictures. Then you have snakes. Then you have dragons. And then you have birds. So just an FYI, there are 16 different pictures. You have fish, snakes, dragons, and birds. So hopefully that helps you. So I'm going to put in the code when we come back. Alright, so when your wish wall looks like this exactly, now you want to make sure it's right because obviously that takes a little while. I'm sure you guys noticed as you got this far. And once you get to this point, all you have to do is step on this little platform. Just do a once over and check everything to make sure, just because if you're close, you don't want to re-put in everything. So everything on mine looks pretty good from what I can tell, doing my once over as well. All right, so go ahead and stand on the platform and we're going to get warped in. It's going to kill you and then it's going to warp you in. All right, so once it loads in, sometimes takes a little bit, you should be right here in front of this big gold door. Now, my advice is, if you have any issues with jumping, you've got something like Lion Rampants, you could put it on. You can make sure your mobility is in a decent place, or just make sure whatever jump you have is pretty comfortable. For me, just something with strafe. You don't have to get a whole lot of lift out of this one. You just need something to where you can actually get a little bit of a glide action for a couple of the jumps. So once you're facing the door, just do a big U-turn, and we're going to actually scale this rock. Normally, you're coming at this encounter from another direction. You're kind of coming this way. But we're coming in the opposite direction, and we're just going to kind of reverse climb everything and get to the top. So this is usually the path I take. Probably the one I have the most issue is with the Hunter with this jump, but if you have a decent amount of mobility, you should be okay. Now I'm going to show you guys the most kind of extreme high version. You could probably make the jump from about here, but if you want a little loft, you can get all the way up here. Get a nice little running start. Glide, floof, triple jump all the way over. If you're a Hunter, I would probably put triple jump on. And then just follow on over here. Now, I've got all the Taken mods, so you won't see any Taken mods drop from me. But you always have a chance to get a Taken mod from this chest, which is nice because those are the ones that are going to help you if you're working on Prophecy, if you're thinking about soloing it. And if you die, you know, it's perfect to have that in the video. BRB. So if you miss your jump like that, usually checkpoints aren't too bad. Nice to have that in there for you guys so you can see it. Now, once you get to about here, you kind of notice where there's not too much to go, and you don't want to go all the way down there. What we're actually trying to do is go all the way down. Well, it's way down there. I'm trying to get a good angle, but actually I'm trying to go right down there. So usually what you can do is get to about here and then try and slow your fall. Different characters are better at this, and your chest is right down here. Now, if you open this up, I got an Apex Predator. So I got a rocket launcher, and it went to my Postmaster. But any Apex Predator, now that one's probably going to drop at a higher level than this old one, but it's a piece of gear, guaranteed to last for a full year. And you also have a chance to get those Taken mods, which is really, really important. Now, if you have another person that you're playing with on a fire team, if you have a friend that can come help, you can have them, once you're here, have them load in with you. And then if they'll just like sit at the checkpoint when they load in over there, you can have them just sit there for a minute, or you guys can trade back and forth. as long as somebody's in this region, you can load different characters in, and that way you don't have to put the wish into the wall every time. But this is a way for you all to get loot from the Last Wish raid completely by yourself, and you don't even have to like do some crazy solo encounter. You just kind of work your way back through the terrain and free loot. So wanted to share this one with you guys because the Taken mods are very, very helpful in the Prophecy dungeon. If you're trying to do that, I definitely advise doing this. And then also, if you are just trying to get some more weapons and armor that can be lasting for a while longer, armor has a chance at decent stat rolls as well. So hopefully this is beneficial to you guys. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like below, leave a comment if you got questions, any cool stuff that you found. You guys can find me on Twitch and Twitter. It's Ebontis on both. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. We are less than 1,000 away from 50K. So if you haven't subbed before and you enjoyed the content, I've got a lot more stuff coming to you guys. And then, of course, Beyond Light is going to be crazy. So lots of stuff there. So hit that sub button and the alert bell. Keep my videos coming to you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. I'll see you soon.